What's up, my name is Brendan and today I'm going to be showing you two methods on how to scale in After Effects. Let's get started. So my first method is by using nulls to scale. Why I use nulls to scale is because it just makes your clips scale in way smoother than just using regular keyframes. But it's just personal preference because you can choose like whatever method you want and it still will have a similar result. So how we're going to get started on the null part is by going to your clip. You're going to start with your first transition. So what I'm going to do is just do a simple scale from the beginning. I'm going to keyframe scale on my first clip by pressing S and then just making a keyframe right there. And then I'm going to use 180 for my value. You can use like 300 to like 180 or whatever, any like value from there. And then you're just gonna highlight your keyframes, F9, and go to your graph. And just make your graph similar to mine. You can change it depending on how smooth you want it to be. So like that. And then once you're done with that, first scaling from the beginning, you're gonna click on this layer and go to layer, new, and then null object. You can also use the shortcut Control Alt Shift and Y, which then makes a null like so. And once you're done making your null, you're gonna parent this to your null object, your layer 1 to your null object. And then once you're done parenting the null, you're gonna press S on your keyboard, keyframe scale on your null. And then since we're gonna do a zoom in, I'm gonna use 180 as my value. If you're doing a zoom out or something like that, you're just gonna do 90 on your scale out value. And yeah, and then I'll show a scale out with the nulls later on in the video, but for now I'm just gonna do a scale in. So we're just gonna put 180 at the beginning, at the end, and highlight it, and then F9. Then go to your graph and make the same graph as the beginning graph, but the opposite way. Because you always want your graph to look like a steep mountain thingy. So it goes like sharp in the beginning, like so, and then like goes down, and then goes back up. That's how you would really make a graph. Since on this clip it's like very zoomed into his face, we're going to do something called like a fake zoom in, which is like it just scales in, but like a different graph from the first clip. So how we're gonna do this is keyframe scale in the beginning of your clip, go all the way to go all the way to the end of the clip, and make your value around like 115 or like 120. In this case, I'm gonna just do like 120. That, highlight your keyframes, F9, and go to your graph editor and make something like this, like that. Or you can do a graph that looks like this. Each graph has its own like quality of it. With this graph, it comes in quicker, but the duration of it doesn't seem to last long. If you use this graph, it will come in like not that fast, but the duration of the scale-in will last longer. So you can choose whichever you want. I'm gonna use this one for the example. So once we have our fake zoom in, like so, you're gonna add another null from the middle of your clip to the end of it. So click on your layer, go to layer, new, and null object. And then you're just gonna cut it like so. And then we're gonna do a zoom out from this clip to this clip. So what you're gonna do is parent your second clip to your null like so. Press S on your keyboard and go all the way to the end of your clip. and you're gonna look at your border here. If you don't see your border for this, you just need to click this button right here, and it will show your border of your clip. So once you've done that, you're gonna click on your null, and then you're just gonna bring it down, bring the value down a bit until your border of your clip is touching your preview window, like so. So it's gonna be like 84. Okay, and then once you're done with that, you're gonna highlight it, F9, and then go to your graph editor and make an outward graph, like so. That, and now we have a simple zoom out. And we're gonna do another zoom out again, but this time it's gonna be like a scale in, or scale in, or yeah, scale in from the beginning and then scale out at the end. So what we're going to do is keyframe our scale and keyframe right here. This value is going to be 100, and in the beginning it could be like 300 to 180, any like number from there. I'm going to do 180 again. Highlight your keyframes, press F9, and then go to your graph editor and make an inward graph, like so. And then once you're done with that, you're gonna click on your layer again and make another null. So layer, new, and then null object. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're gonna parent this to your null and press S on your keyboard, and then go to the end of this and make your value like 90. So you may see these black sides on your clip. Don't worry, you're gonna add motion tile. So all you gotta do is type in motion tile, like so, and then make your values like 200, 200, and mirror your edges like so. And if you see like any black lines on this, you would just go into the pre-comp of your clip and just like scale in by 1, like so, and that gets rid of the black edges right there. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to highlight your scale keyframes, press F9, and go to your graph editor and make a outward graph, like so. Now let's see what we have so far. You can see here how it has a continuous transition after each scale, which is good. It keeps the edit moving and flowing at the same time. And yeah, this is it for method 1. And on to method 2. So for this method, I'm just gonna do scales but with 3 keyframes instead of nulls. So how this is gonna work is I'm just gonna press S on my keyboard and then make a keyframe at the beginning, make a keyframe in the middle, and make a keyframe at the end of the clip, like so. And then depending on the clip is like how you want to scale. So since this is gonna go and zoom in, I'm just gonna do scale pump in. So how I usually would start these type of scales is just by using 300 for most of the scale-ins. So 300, 100, and then 300 again because I'm going to zoom in, like so. And then we're going to do a fake zoom, but we're going to use it or do it with 3 keyframes only. So since this is 100, you're going to keyframe at 100, and at the middle you're going to do like 125 or like 120, whatever number you want. And then at the end you're going to do 100, so. And don't forget to highlight your keyframes and graphic. So we're just gonna highlight it, F9, and then go to your graph editor and just make your graphs like an in graph and an out graph, like so. That, and like that. Okay. And then for the fig zoom scales, you're gonna highlight it, F9, and then you're gonna make your graph similar to method 1, but it just on 3 keyframes. So you're just gonna make your first keyframes like this, and then your out keyframes like a regular outward graph, like that. And then on to the scale part. So we're gonna also use 3 keyframes on this, but it's gonna be different values. So keyframe scale in the beginning, make it 300, and then at the middle you're gonna make it like 120, and at the end it's gonna be 100, like so. Highlight it, F9, and then just graph it like a inward and outward graph, like so. And if it's too small, you could just use the plus or minus button to zoom in onto your graph, like that, and like that. Now let's see what I have. It's kind of similar to method 1, but it kind of like lacks in movement flowing through the edit. But you can use whatever method you want. I usually stick with my method 1 is using nulls, just because it looks way smoother than this method, but it's your choice. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this scale tutorial, and leave a comment below saying what type of tutorial I should make next. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video and hope you have a great day. See ya.